Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good day. I am Tashi, and I am your host. And also, I am here with Quill. In the background, just waiting for his line. Let's check everything if everything is fine. Seems to be everything is fine. Other than me not being fully awake. But here I am. Just woken up like 10 minutes ago. And now we are deciding upon the course of what we should do. To read or not to read? That is the question.
Okay.
But last time we had a conversation about should Derpy be here or should not be here? Is she lucky? Is she not lucky? It doesn't matter, she's already here. You can just leave her in the camp. It's not you decided that it is not safe here, so it is safer with you in the team.
Oh yeah.
I was determined. I see her point.
I think you said stern wind.
No, I probably wanted to say something, but
Okay.
and I just woke up. It might have happened. I get more stern than wind. But yeah, I see a problem. I see why she's here.
Stern wind looks at you like, well, what did I do?
That's a different story. But they are not here. I don't know if it's a she or he. But yeah, and I said, I see her point. That oh no, she's a liability. Sure, but you should have said that before they left the TARDIS. Now you don't have a choice. You have to be with the decision.
Yep.
And as I said, I'm pretty sure that nothing knows that they are just walking away from them just because they wanted fresh air. But this is probably after the sleep.
Well, the excuse she used was patrol.
Patrol. Expecto patronum.
Patrol in the dark, in an environment that, all things considered, isn't actually that dark. Because there's like a bright river of light in the sky, and even on the ground, there's a bunch of flowers, plants, animals, bugs, and crystals that have light on them.
Yeah.
But still, nighttime is darker.
You can imagine something like this. Where they are. It is nighttime, but you can see everything. So let's see. Let's get some music going. Probably some calm music at the beginning. It's just metalling or anything. So until I know the team, let's go with this. Also, oh, they might be cutting the grass, so if you hear some random sounds from outside, that's gonna be that.
Barely, and I think I only hear it when you speak.
Yeah, but it might be different for YouTube.
Okay.
Up there! The window outside. I see it points up a giant mountain with a slow casting top. Oh, hey! They are going up where the actual thing is. Blue eyes really close at the top of the mountain. Illuminate there is no behind him. As she approaches, there is some behind him. By gazing up at the giant mountain in wonder. At least that is the location. The red space say a flower grows. But imagine your description. According to them, the flower doesn't have that particular name. I mean, if there is no one here, nobody here to name it that. Also, it might have a different name, depending on time period. There is a purple eye shift from looking at the top of the mountain, ahead of them, to the small sky blue wizard. I chase him. In this case, what is the name of the particular flowers? That is hard to describe. I told you dive in. The name is more like an electric song, I guess. It's a song in the wind. A frequency that speaks more of the spirit of the flower. When the wind speaks of it, the melody of its name evokes a strong feeling of purity. I would have loved if he said that. Oh, the name is. That's almost the Saurian speech. Purity. Huh? Not purity? And Dr. Kelly with a matter of fact expression. She spits out her empty lollipop Sam. Your hoof, then flicks it away. If you were to flick it away, then why did you put it in your hoof in the first place? Just an extra step.
Well, just like briefly examining it.
It's like eating supper versus putting the outer shell of the scene in your hand, just throw it on the floor. For a right gold brand, you float up another lollipop, and in the purple color, and sticks in her mouth. Also, you are making a mess. I know it's just one into a trash, and you put it in the environment, but it ends up. You are fueling chaos. And that's what she said. I think symbolically, it seems me on the right track then. Anything that signifies purity sounds like our best lead so far. In a legendary room over the rim of her floating choreographic land. I hope it is occurs to you that the flower you sing might be a cure for more than the affliction you wish to cure. There could be another others. It could happen. Also, it could be poison. It can be pure poison. Purity doesn't mean it's medicine. Also, every medicine is poison in the if you admit science wrong. We just need to make sure we get enough. Here I reported that it I affected. Just how many is it anyway? Yes, all of them. You can give an approximate number if she said no, but she did nothing giving her the same guy. The original guy as the game person. What? Even if you found nothing was made. This place has made nothing but hospital to all of us, and you just bring a lollipop stamp on the ground and little? That's rude. Speaking of, this instant. See? Duffy. If Duffy wasn't there, that little would be saying that. Duffy's gonna save the day, just by saying this. You have what, Duffy? You can get content by your another cutting in. Point to the lollipop stamp right now, if you can. I tend to forget that she is a magi. And she can use magic. It might have been a thing that, yeah, I'm just taking it away, but also I'm gonna throw it back into my pocket. Of course I can. It's right there. The business, I should probably should empty ground before looking directly at this one. Or she might have dropped it, but also picked it up with magic while Duffy was saying this. When she does so, a surprise exclamation symbol appears above her head. For a split second, along with the sound effect. Snake! What are you doing here? I'm pretty sure there's someone at some point under that the moisture right now. The one there a second ago.
Aw, it's cute. Of course she is.
That means her face to a lot closer to the spot. She points at, and well, I scanned the spot, mere inches from it. By the left I made immediately because otherwise up. But it was right there. I saw it. I had a need. Somehow I became a little mouse, and I think that should be another thing to move. What you saw was a magical energy coordinate at Coulson to simulate the form of a lollipop, and lollipop temporarily. The magical energy gets exhausted, dissipates back into a different state. You can explain in a lecture tone.
This is why you'll never get diabetes or get fat or any true nutrition from
Yeah,
lollipop.
I was about.
It's there for just pure taste.
I mean that the taste is just fake as well.
Kind of. Well, it's sort of there temporarily, but that fades too.
I heard
Anything-
told that she had a sugar intake issue. Because there are people who have sugar intake issues.
I actually, yeah, I can understand that.
And there's
But
a
they
two ways. There's one that actually needs to administer. I don't remember the name. The other thing. Every day, and the other one.
I do understand that, but she has very advanced medical science in her home society that would probably prevent genetic problems like that in the first place.
I have very advanced medical science. I can eat lollipop. But not. So no, she didn't do that. She was actually just throwing out a hologram.
Sort of, yeah.
I mean, it is not a hologram because it had actual physical properties.
Right, but all the same, it's temporary.
I mean, all things are temporary.
Hmm,
Everything
yeah.
about that.
It's
Just
okay, and this is just a different form of being temporary, I guess.
okay. So you see, this was magical energy contact and coalesced to stimulate the form of the lollipop. Understand?
Uh-huh.
So you still put trash into the air. It's called magic.
There
Now pick it up.
you go.
It is the messing with the natural state of the environment. That is what I'm meaning.
Anyway, I suppose you could say that. Or it's sort of like moving a water drop around in the middle of the ocean.
Remember that this is the most harmonious place that they have met.
Yeah.
Every little change can stir up some trouble. Just like the soul in the water. Fascinating. The woman actually lifts her hand up and looks at Dr. Kelly with her right eye. So the thing naturally clean themselves up, eh? Well, Dobby closes her eyes as her expression lives in the light. In that case, I take a lemon flavor then. You got it. You can accept and proceed to float a yellow lollipop to Daffy. Hopefully it is just like lemon flavored. Not the very sour.
I'm gonna pull up a picture with Derpy with an actual lollipop in her mouth. Well, quote unquote actual.
I didn't say save, I said open. Okay, yes, I have to do this then. Putting in front of her nail messy main Pegasus. Dumpy snaps her mouth forward to envelop the lollipop. She closes her eyes again as she is 93. And for only one, but you can hear and then opens to everyone as he now the sugar lady. Maybe later. But I've been sent back to the Magi. And I can imagine Father, not Father, something giving them the same guy. See, I told you. This one will be seeing it up there. There are some factors we need to consider. What are you insinuating, Storming? Do you think the wind lied to Father? The flower is up there. You just have to find it. Storming said as she was facing eyes to the peak of the giant mountain ahead of them. No, I don't know if he meant that it even is the flower that they are seeking. I mean, just look at it. It seems pretty cold up there, but I know Father Wind has planned to have been dead. He will have a small blue friend. So yeah, Father Wind is just like a Swiss Army knife. Has magic for every situation.
Wizards can be if they're well trained.
Yeah. You don't have hit by a hook. Your they will die. Because they don't have enough HP.
Yeah.
High altitudes are almost always short. And the Feather has a small body. So he devises a spell to trap him. And lost too, if he gets it at lot. We team a swarm up there. It's called fire. So with the lieutenant I knew beside her was the look back up and the taller and broader parachute. I said that the flower time to go, but oxygen is here too. If what we see in the up there, then what we also find is that oxygen as well. I mean, yeah, that's what that means. This is what she said right there. Ah, you said the sky is blue, so if you look up, the sky is blue.
If you go into the void, then what you will find is the void.
Yeah. I mean, the oxygen between the void as well. However, something looks among the rest of Earth as yet. It is a well-known fact that the parasites happen to be more adept at flying at altitude with the oxygen, and this potentially looks as Luffy. Since I am the largest and strongest among us, I could just fly up there and bad idea for the within house, the sheriff said. But he says then he will start with undivided attention, and then goes on to explain. And not just call up there, wind are very strong up there too. But can you not control the wind? Hello? Question mark? Do something on the mountain. It has something to do with the temperature, air pressure, and the shape of the mountain. This reminds me of why did Gandalf not just fly to the Mordor with the ring? They had the eagles, remember?
Yeah. Have you seen a clip called "How It Should Have Ended"? And
Yeah, I've seen that, yes.
Okay.
I was referring to that. Also, I know why, but still.
Well, that was incredibly easy.
But yeah, the reason why, because then that wouldn't be a story. But the real reason why that they wanted to have a without Sauron seeing them. But if you go with me, you could calm the wind. What I said. That makes you yes. Nobody I know can influence the wind better than you. In a question. And for a unicorn, you are high altitude as well. In a question, once again, these are different kind of winds. He can talk to them, but he might not be able to influence them. Just like in Aeroplane Forest. But I'm admitted as he looked by the storming. I said, this isn't a question. What did I say? But the matters here have a mind of their own. I might be able to influence the weather here a little. But that's like asking a flower river to water or reverse its course.
Did you say flower or flowing?
I said flower, but it's flowing.
Okay.
I was confused as well. What is a flower river? I think absorbing it was what, only was a choice. That would be just a tail, if it's possible at all. I mean, it is possible. We have weird knobs. So we use the mountain under a pretty guy. Can we at least fly closer to the top safely? I mean, you can, but not every pony. So we get serving, not serving, little Kelly.
Yeah, she can fly, but
You
the
can
method's
fly,
very
but
different.
it's very
She'd
different
have to
kind
be
of flying.
she'd have to be studying her little force field bubbles, and probably won't move quite that fast. In a way, that's kind of like the way that Green Lantern flies around.
Hey, yeah, I can see that. But something I seem that I've been in silence for a while. I see looks back up at the top of the mountain. Yeah, we could, but then there wouldn't be a story. Then I take you inside as he lives in deep. He listens to a message of the wind. I almost said massage of the wind. I mean, it almost is. After using his hand to ask the question. About half a minute later, a small wind blows off on him. Makes his puffy, sound like white wind jiggle a bit. He then both his eyes open and said, yes, kind of. The wind varies, but I would say it's safe about 60% of the way up the mountain. After that, it gets more unpredictable and generally stronger. He looks up at the wind and starting. If I am there, I may be able to calm and guide the wind more, but I think we will be pushing even my limit once we go past the 80% mark. 80% really helps. So we command in an impressed tone. No, he said 60%. If they use his magic and exhaust himself, then you might go to 80%. Maximum.
Right.
60
Right.
is the same. As we probably share about the week tour of climbing right now. Also, it is a really high mountain.
Yeah.
I'm still curious why the doctor didn't just drop them off near the thing.
Well, because the Eye of Sauron would have spotted him.
Yeah. But literally, if you had a TARDIS and if you knew where the thing is, where the flower is, just manifest the TARDIS, open the door, get him down, and they run away.
Boy, that was incredibly easy. One of us could have died.
I mean, I know they didn't know where the flower was in the first place. I was willing to send the two of you off to danger like that by yourselves. Like I said when this happened before, Crown. If the police is going to offer a test like that alone, it's me. They give the thumb nod. I have nothing but experience climbing mountains, and they were both some equipment specializing in the task. Yeah, but why? The PS dying in confusion. Your parachute, you've already won a pretty good flyer. So I heard. Because of that, it doesn't seem necessary for you to get a rock climbing experience. They literally just said, no reason why. Because the winds are too strong up there. And usually they are.
I could think of 3 reasons. Sometimes in her books, beginning in her first one, her wing is injured. You can also encounter environments where it's so windy that no one can fly there. And there's also been places that's been enchanted, to prevent flying.
So, like, because of her experience, because the first adventure, her wing was damaged.
There could also be environments where it might be toxic in the air, like there's gaseous clouds up there. So while you could fly up there, it's going to kill you to try.
I mean, probably not here.
Probably not. No, no. But I'm just thinking in general of all the potential reasons that could prevent flying, even in Equestria. So for all those reasons combined, it can be wise to have some rock climbing experience and equipment
Yeah,
thereof.
I'm not questioning, like, it was nothing.
Okay.
I didn't ever say that I was a fool. Did you? The report is happy in the mind of the light. Also, the small smile sticking to her lips as she said. It was something I did with my late and great grandfather. Sometimes we climbed mountains just for fun. He gave them laughing. You know, I should mention something like that to him back then. And he said, we are climbing this anyway because it is good exercise. And it is a valuable experience. And sometimes we can fly up, even every obstacle, for one reason or another. Maybe the weather is too strong and chaotic. Or maybe it's too harmonious. Some of the wings could be injured. Believe me, I've had my fair share of the latter experience to verify that possibility. I mean, even the Rainbow Dash experienced that.
Yeah, if you might notice, the end quote actually was after the word injured. After that, she was speaking for herself.
Yeah? I mean, it works both ways if it's grandfather saying it or her. I believe the grandfather had multiple injuries as well.
Very likely, yeah. He had a dangerous career.
Yeah, he was looking after magical babies. So we need some proud hoof to signal that she wants to get her attention now.
Gotta call up a picture for that.
When there's no picture of that one?
Surprising, huh?
Huh. I guess there is no picture. Even though there should be. Yeah, I will find it. I'm just even gonna try then. We'll just bring this out then. You wanna talk?
Their finger points.
There is literally a scene where he goes like, I'm not talking! That's not what I was searching for. But I guess it's not in that. But she added, she said, that as it may, I can win and think Ocean may not be the only problem from there. We are there, I got a potential hostile element in this time, so I'm not comfortable sending anybody up there alone. I'm pretty sure we don't need this music yet. We are still just choosing what to do. Yeah. Some information at the time as someone gay and I knew. She goes on to say, the doctor may have put you in charge, and to point, I expect a decision. But if you're asking me to remain behind while you try to fly off to the top of the mountain alone, for who knows how long, then no thank you. No, what she said that if someone goes alone, it's me. She didn't say you can't come with me. She didn't say going together isn't matter. I think to accompany you, at the very least, and that's final. Mentally. Something in this. There's some on the top of a hoof. For the emphasis on the word final. Then you said, as he looked transfers from serving the rest of the group. Yes. Do all the rest of you feel that way too? Absolutely. And I mean immediately agreed. When it comes to the capabilities of this creature of chaos, we can't take anything for granted. Even if it's weaker form of the Chronicles than the one you know. But there are choice as he has. Depending on this creature not with that power, potentially it will make much to injure or kill us. In this case, our own observable are matter, if we stick together. And he appears, okay, I will help you, and then stick them together, like with a glue.
Okay.
I also agree, that chimes in. And I would like to go for other reasons too. So the guy puts in, there is no guarantee that the mountain has enough samples of the flower to cure all the everything in your time. But the strategy would be to cultivate more. To do that, we need to know the right conditions to put it off. If I go up there, I can sell the flowers in several ways. This kind of information could be helpful in growing them again. Closer to all of your native problems. Or, I have a better solution. Just send your drone off. It doesn't have to be worried about wind and oxygen. And it can scan, and it can take in the flower.
It certainly would not need the oxygen, you're right about that. The winds might buff it around though.
Yeah, but because of technology, it might have a stabilizer.
Yeah, it might. And for what it's worth, the machine probably won't exhaust itself either.
Yeah?
Not all technology is totally immune to exhaustion, though. I mean, if they run on some kind of battery source and that gets depleted, then yeah, it's going down.
They use medical energy too, right? And I've been just with Dr. Kelly. I feel I got a strong feeling that this one is that is one of the major factors in growing this particular power. Aha, you need harmony, but you don't have it anywhere else. I don't know for sure why it exists in that time, but I do know the magic over a native time is the story and this area and there. Iron like this might still exist somewhere closer to our native time, but we would have to be more selective in this case. You might be the reason why it's extinct. Have you ever thought about that? Because we are in the time it might be stuff.
In a way, it's like the Equestria is as magical as the EQG, the Equestria Girls, isn't. Um, Now, this is the reverse of that, where this time and era is a step up above Equestria, both in terms of harmony and magic.
What did you
It
say?
might,
Expecting God is not magic?
oh, it does, but not to the degree that Equestria does. But this is going the other way around, where it might make Equestria look mundane in comparison. Tell you what, though, before I watched the show, that was one of the reasons I avoided it. I was actually thinking that it wouldn't have that much magic at all. And I was worried about
We
that.
are
Yeah.
disapproving of that. There is magic in there. No.
Release the magic. Release the magic.
Yeah, one of my favorite, not evil songs, but actually songs.
The majority of the magic that that world continues to gain rather leaks from the portal. But there were artifacts even before that point. Like some kind of time repeating watch stone that makes you forget stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Apparently, the sirens were put in that world way, way earlier, but exactly how much sooner is a little questionable. You know, stuff like that.
We know that the human world was literally a starshot question of things that we can deal with.
I saw a portal to a question one other location too on Earth, and for all we know, there might be more.
I would say there are more medical beings in the human world than in the Borderland in the Equestria.
Oh, neat.
But they lost their magic because it was a magic that was.
Hmm.
The keyword is was a magic that was until the Macy's decided to go there and make
I
the
think you
magic
get
with
my.
them.
I think you get my point anyway, right?
Yeah.
This era and timeline is a step above even Equestria.
Yep. Not one step. Beautiful. The answer to your question is yes. You can a chance for the win. Even I can feel the presence of magic. And this library is clearly enough. Get to immerse an entire language around it. Why somebody can do it more precisely though? If I make my droid, then I can even access a number of figures that may end up being vital information in this case. That information can be selected in an educated way. The flower will need time to grow too. But I materializes. As such, if we secure at least one sample of it, I suggest we don't take into your time period at all. Instead, as you lose an area no. Instead of that, we aim a century or two beyond your time. But now, we look for either spot to plant it. If possible, it could be even better. If some kind of sentient and malevolent force was there to plant and further cultivate the flowers. Hmm.
What's your idea?
some creature like this one?
No, would not be a bad call. She'd do it. It's probably beautiful too.
I mean, she was a god
And
there.
that and we know she's a trained wizard of their culture, their type of magic.
I forgot her name though.
That would be. What I'm thinking. Missed me.
Ah, yeah. But I just, standing pillars.
Yeah, she's actually one of the rare examples of that flowing mane, similar to Celestia and Luna.
Maybe he was an icon.
Okay, then explain Cadence, or even Twilight until the end of the show.
No. Celestia should, explain Guinness because she said that there has been no icons.
Imagine
Remember?
Flurry Heart as an infant with flowing mane.
I mean, at some point there might have been some ultimate.
Yeah, that's quite possible. And over time, I'd say the odds steadily increase. Um, most can, most at least headcanons agree that not only did Celestia and Luna used to lack that feature, but their manes looked different at one time. Like one was pink and the other was blue.
Yeah? And we can safely assume that the flowing mane is not because of alicorn magic, but it's from the overflowing magic in their body.
Yeah, I heard another theory too that says it's some kind of destined one or something like that.
I mean, they are all less than one, so.
Hmm.
I mean, why does he die? And if he something. After that, he goes to die. And if he either listening for something or being deep in soul. What? Something else for the win. Also, the second. It is a suggestion from Crystal State. For the win as well as your personality. You know the pony in this crystal? Something not a shield. Yeah, I'm aware of him. Oh, and by the way, have you been talking to taking some time to gather all this positive energy in this area? It seems energy abundant here, so it could be useful to your project. I have some, but it's hard to do while moving, while we are moving. Another report. I can get behind the sentiment, because there are people who can just walk around and eat at the same time and drink. I cannot, for the life of myself. I have to stop while I'm eating or drinking.
I consider that especially dangerous if you're driving. Now, I know people that had plenty of practice around that, but it still makes me a little nervous.
No, not drink and drive.
Hmm.
In most sense.
But I've seen beyond that, where people are eating fries or putting ketchup in their fries first, opening their packages and squirting that while still driving, and then opening up sandwiches and eating a hamburger and all that stuff.
Well, nowadays it's different if you have a Tesla or something that can drive itself. It is different. But then you are not driving, are you?
A little, yeah. I've seen other cars that doesn't quite self-drive, but it does have a sensor looking for the lanes, with the lines in the lanes. As soon as it detects it, it starts steering, nudging the steering wheel back into the lane you're on.
Yeah?
But what it won't do is change lanes for you, and then intelligence stop at the stoplight, and then pick a specific lane and basically doing everything a navigation should, but controlling the car too.
Yeah,
Because to do that legally and safely, It would also need to detect every other factor that a GPS doesn't see, like there's a baby in the way, or that car just unexpectedly stopped.
I remember
To,
that there was one car which had a problem with this because there was a truck in front of him moving a traffic light.
People are working on that. In order to get that right, it needs cameras aimed all around the car so that it can detect everything that a driver can see and react accordingly and intelligently enough to actually be effective.
I mean, usually probably it's in front and behind, not on the side because you,
But
not
yeah,
even
like I
humans
said,
can see.
I have driven rental cars that not only can try to nudge you in the lane you're on, but also, like, if you put it on cruise control to lock it at a specific speed, it automatically slows down when it senses the car ahead of you is too close.
That can be useful,
Oh, yeah.
especially for inexperienced drivers.
Which also means the reverse. If the car starts speeding ahead of you, it will resume its speed up to the speed you locked it up to,
Yeah,
which at that point makes cruise control a lot safer to use.
I'm curious how did we even get to this the car team? Wait, how did we get here?
On the topic,
Yeah,
what did we just read? It was probably has something to do with that.
what is even actually? Oh yeah, eating by oh yeah, I know how we got there. We we got here by by me saying that I can eat and move at the same time, and then you saying that some people drink and drive.
I was talking about eating and drinking and driving.
Yeah, and then we got to the cars and some moving cars.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can see why fans have been saying that it is hard to do while moving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still new with doing myself to this crystal, so it takes all of my concentration. As such, I can't be doing anything else during this moment. Not yet, at any rate. And not especially if you are flying away. So once again, walking would be easier to do this. So just hop onto the back of a servant. Servant. I mean that is serving when they are combining. And let her move. While you're concentrating on sucking all the magic back into your positive energy. Noted that I knew before she asked. And what did he say? Why should we plant the flowers in the future? The further north, Lake Vessia, could have been also daring, while also looking at her. The kind of environment is all the ideal for the flower accustomed to high altitude, ice climate, in oxygen, and abundant magic that is pure as white snow. Yeah, planted in my kingdom. Ha! The eastern mountains of the further north also have a lot of magical crystals growing inside and around it. Necessarily, maybe I can charge some of the crystals and then turn into an especially conductive for the magic those flowers need. If I the crystal stages help with this project, we will be virtually assured to succeed provided we are given enough information that we need to action those crystals with. He said, as he raised his face and grinned at Dr. Carly. So your scan can definitely come in handy. It might even be vital for this project. Let's see. They still have some time to go. But yeah. And if you plant the flowers up there, your mouse has you in the bag, I can mark it on the map. Then I do send with a thoughtful expression. I see on the bottom of her chin. The left hole. The blue eyes lily is told to be extinct in our time. But I have to admit that much of the crystal mountains of further north is still uncharted and unexplored. If I am the only map of its location in the world, and even I am keeping 2 centuries ahead of it, that it is less likely another location within the kingdom, if we are ready to cultivate them. Except the crystal, wait, yeah, the crystal empire is not back yet at this moment, right?
The what?
In the timeline, the crystal empire is not yet back. Because,
Yeah,
Luna was
it's
still
not.
on the moon.
No, the Crystal Empire is. Wait a minute. Actually, it is back. Well, at least according to Derpy and Daring, because if she's aware of Discord and he's been reformed, that was in third season, and the Crystal Empire returned at the beginning of that.
But then there is a time incapacity because the first season was where Luna came back from the moon.
Luna came back from the moon in the very beginning of the show.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Huh?
But wasn't she on the moon in Ponyville?
She was on the moon, not in Ponyville.
I mean, in that timeline.
Yeah.
So we have
They're
some time.
talking about.
We have some time in me stuff right here because Luna should be not on the moon anymore if the Empire is back.
Well, yeah, well, they're not talking about the Crystal Empire or even Luna. What they're talking about is grabbing the ice blue lilies from this time period and plant it 2 centuries before the present for Derpy and Daring Do, and do it specifically in the Crystal Mountains in the frozen north, because those environmental conditions, both environmentally and magically, are the most ideal that's in Equestria.
And what's the further notice that are charting at the moment. So
It's true that the Crystal Empire is in the frozen north, but it is not in the Crystal Mountains. It is next to it, though.
yeah.
I think at the base of it.
The exile of them among the creatures. The exile in the further north?
Yes, they are, and even more specifically in the Crystal Mountains.
Then there is a problem. Because yes, smash. No. Minimize the room, but they are in particular. There are some areas that even they wouldn't dare to tell, simply because they would be unable to access it. Without flying or weather control. Or there's another strategy we could use. To try making up. What if we use the eggs to ground the flowers? Maybe even attend them. Maybe they could be bound to sacred promise and keep their flowers from being known until the right folks show up to collect them. In exchange, we let them keep some of the flowers for their own purposes. Who is going to say no to powerful and powerful bodies in a flower that you capture and their affection? Maybe the yes.
Yeah, maybe. But at least in this case, you could see a chance for them to say yes.
Yeah? What I told the yes are pretty stubborn and they hidden. I know my children why still holding the thoughts for both. But that could also be a good thing. If they make a promise, it can sink into a cultural tradition they pass on. And looking at the promise they made, well, they are really cutting the gas right outside the window. It can sink into a cultural tradition they would pass on. And when the promise they make is useful to us, they could actually become an advantage to us. Then those hooves sinks back to the ground, and she gives her companion a more serious expression as she ends. once you get that cooperation, it is essential to win the trust and respect. And also, you should get the flower first.
Oh yeah, of course.
Got any ideas how we can do that? I'll be serious with dying, but innocent and curious make of my life. Nothing. Actually, yes, I got a few I can try. There are some missing languages. There are some mystical objects among that time that I know is deeply rare. Nation is very important to the X, and that also means taking care of which is secret to them. In my time, the objects I'm thinking of, they already have. But if we time travel back a few centuries, we could establish ourselves as the heroes that got them those objects in the first place. So you are suggesting go back in time and win the lottery. This is almost the same thing, right? This will be yet another story they will pass on through generations. And when you are back to our native time, and when nothing, we could meet up with the Yaks again, who was a favor by then. And the Yaks shall not allow themselves to fall another depth. They take such things very seriously. But they will laugh at you when you say that, I will be back 500 years from now. They do what is right, and she learns something else. They get thoughtful again, and she goes on to say, come to think of it, that might already be true. The first time I visited the Yaks, they already expected me for some reason. Based on our food, the current leader of the Yaks in my time even called me another Yak in his village, and he further emphasized that was a rare honor bestowed on a fellow than Yak. At the time, I told this attitude was because he expected me and an adventurer. Does he ever heard some of my tales somehow? Like, by giving him a copy of the new and the adventures of whatever. They start. I'm admitting that he did have some personal requests for me on behalf of this village, which in turn has to explain why he tried to butter me up when we first met. But the fact remains that it was unusual he trusted me so much on our first meeting. Maybe this is why. Maybe it has already happened. They looked across the group in the light. Not only will I have it essential to get hold of the Western in the first place, but I might have had them with some other test at the time. I may have already proven my worth to place enough for in this advance. It's only you to trust me with this other test in this time. And very back with me, and I've been agreed. But there's all this said that in the future will already occur and already happened in the perspective or some other timeline. If you're right, all we have to do is go scam over this calculated room by actually doing whatever it is. We get us famous among the Yaks. Having to plan the ice move lilies in the first place, but it was already made us some social point in the books. After all, American girl like that might have come into me for that multiple times.
Decently likely too.
Yeah.
They are hardy, but they're not immune to everything, and they're also in very tough environment.
Or maybe they are tough because they eat the flower.
Oh yeah, that could have been possible too. And if that's been happening for centuries, that could explain why they're so robust.
Especially because they are members. They definitely give up the antibodies that they have been setting up to their children as well. Make sure they don't sell it or advertise that they have it though. They do out. I mean, they don't really do it. They are excluded.
Yeah, they're not flim and flam, that's for sure.
Information like that was more public in my time, and I already met more than my fair share of ponies who would abuse this information for selfish and the job purposes. There is also I can already hear them singing about a flower. This flower was sold to be extinct for a time for good reason. All the time who knew about it was sworn to keep their mouths shut about it. Or did I take it here on return? To that on an old nap.
The Flim Flam's curative miracle tonic.
So, if that's the case, then how did you know about this? Yeah. Did I know?
Well, she encountered the need for it in the first place first, and then through research she discovered what would have cured it, but some extra steps are required in order to secure it. Tell you what, even if she learned in her own time that, you know what, the ice balloons are right over there in the Crystal Mountains, but wait, they wouldn't have been there if you don't go back in time to travel and collect the samples in the first place, then plant it 2 centuries before your present timeline. So
Yeah,
you still gotta do this. You still gotta secure the original sample.
it did. The case, of course, is relatively clear. The kind came. We can worry about the details of the next adventure later. For now, I think our hopes on the I believe in this time. Students, you want us all to travel together. I do the double checks with her room. I mean, that's what the plan to begin with, I know. Otherwise, why would every pony get off the TARDIS? You know what? The doctor could have been easily be able to just drop you off here to get the flower. Right?
That's an option, yeah.
And then smiles in that as he said a cheaper way. Actually, yeah, that sounds fun, and we don't need to rush as we do so. We have a time machine on our house, as well as the doctor returns, so we can take our time with this challenge. Are you sure as to that, or if the doctor returns at all?
You think he wouldn't? For his beloved companions?
I mean, it could be another doctor, it could be maybe Vision coming back for them.
Okay.
Because something happened with the doctor at one time.
Huh. Try to remember you said that.
I recommend it anyway if we are doing this together. Don't tell me I was actually right. Like son, I should look up to the mountain. There are some decent challenges to tasks like that. This mountain is particularly large. It should take us at least a week. I mean, it would take you at least 2 weeks if you couldn't fly, right? Minute as it may, how much energy is particularly thick in this era. Also, do you have a week worth of food? Yes, there is food in the forest, but you are going up the mountain. You should probably stock up first.
They got food, but
Not a week
a
first.
week's supply of it is questionable. And if they do have it, they also have to carry it all of it. They might find some in the local terrain, but the terrain we're talking about further and further up that mountain makes it seem at least it's less likely.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Hmm.
And
I'm
we
agreeing
don't
with you.
know if they are gathering food here, then it might not even last a week. It might go wrong.
Well, for what it's worth, there certainly would be some refrigeration up there, and harmonic energy can slow down decay too. Apparently, we learned that when magic was removed from Equestria.
Yeah, but I
This
think
this this world has that to a greater degree.
I'm pretty sure that logically and Nagnu has some uh food items that are safe consume even after a longer period of time, like beef jerky or something. I
Well,
don't know if they would eat beef jerky, but
we already established that Dr. Kelly can produce lollipops to the heart's content, but it has no actual nutritional value.
yeah. So it's nothing.
It's more like an activity at that point.
Yeah. Minute is May. Minute and it's May. How much energy is particular take in this era of the winter event? I'm not saying that won't be a challenge, but that said, will be safer than it actually is. Plus, I bet you anything, there may be very scenic spots along the way up there. This time seems designed to be natural and analytic in every possible way. So the odds are actually good, and whatever is the best case scenario for a test like this, so shall it be. I can already promise you that the elemental spirits I've been speaking to are unusually friendly here, compared to most other times and places. Also, the chronicles notwithstanding that is something about the group. Who said it is hostile? It has not shown hostility yet. Son, you might be
Uh,
wary, but it has not shown hostility.
yeah.
It was
Uh,
laughing at you, and and it might have been just a welcoming
yeah.
in his own tongue.
So far, trouble's only been maybe taunting them a little bit.
Yeah, but there was no hostility in that. I would probably call it whimsy, not hostility.
Okay.
The game told, but then her expression shifts to curious as she said. I wonder what the plural version of the Curlicus would be. The Curlicai, maybe? No, in the Curlicus... No, the Curlicus... Oh, plural version of the Curlicus is the Curlicus. It's the same.
Maybe if you ask them, they might not agree because they're all chaotic.
No, the plural version of the Curlicus is Discord. Something else with it is a show. One by one, no, let's complete that show.
Oh, you got plenty of pictures for that if you want to bring that up on the screen. Pony shrugging.
We all know that I'm showing. The most famous one. Why are you listening? There you go. That's another show. No. And she's not so much to do so. Yes. It's not what I can tell. If you want to ask Discord that question directly, I think he will give you some random nonsense bar. He's just fond of everything not making sense. Yeah, just like my emotions at my work. They are fond of not making any logic, not following any logic. And this is not something I wouldn't say to them.
Let's hope they're not watching your videos then.
No, it's not something I wouldn't say to them. I did say to them that, yeah, this doesn't make sense. But with the exception of actually ending, no, this would make more sense. Or this would make sense at all. Like the progress of the characters being a toaster. Having half yours with a mute work. So in the MOV series, nothing became multiple characters. Probably. That'd be kind of good. Before switching the line. Turn up on the highlight and the mouse for light exactly. As I said. Anyway, coming this mountain together actually sounds kind of fun though. He on the lower floor of her light again. Let's continue to say. The journey is going to be especially interesting all along the way. I'm looking forward to it. She says slightly to her right. Besides, this much all of us here can float or fly some way or another. So we do a backup strategy just in case we fall. We can also do unicorns here. Precious.
Down goes Kirby, which normally could fly.
I mean, in that scene, Kirby actually flew back. That was the whole joke that Kazuya threw down every character in Smash. And then Kirby was the only one who flew back up. What like when Unicorn and Magi was point taken. The guy partially speed. Agreed. I have some coming here too. That I do in mind. It might actually be enough for us. But just in case, it's nice to know we have several other layers of Mega Strategies. I mean just having some stakes that you can put your foothold in. That can be very helpful.
I've seen videos and pictures of people who camp along the side of a cliff by putting at least one, maybe two stakes into the mountain and hook up their tent in basically like a hammock, hanging off the edge of a cliff, and you have to sleep that way.
Ah. I mean, they probably don't have to do that.
Well, the prospect is unnerving to me, but, if you were there in the middle of the cliff, anyway, it'd be nice to get some rest, to recover from the next day. Plus, you probably don't want to do too much steep climbing in the dark.
I actually don't remember. What would have been using teleport at any point? Can he use it?
Teleport? No, he does not know that. But Dr. Kelly does. She could do it.
Yeah, I was just asking just in case.
Mhm.
Because it might come off at one point.
Yeah, mine.
Then you pop some cakes in the night by twisting it left and left and then right. I said it again. I said, well, since I'm the most experienced climber here, you'll be listening and following my careful instructions as we proceed. Is that clear? I want to make sure everybody here has my watch. Although you don't have a watch, you're a compass. Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
she's warning her watch is very dangerous. I want to make sure you survive it because that watch will otherwise kill you.
And I've been
Beware of the
concurred.
watch.
So, wait. I mean, you can do this.
I think the chapter's wrapping up soon.
See? My watch is also a compass.
Ah, that would be One Piece.
Yeah? It's real. Understood and again. And I've been concurred. Yes, ma'am. Something also accept the formal statue. And yes, sure was not available to this thing.
Did you say formal statue?
I might have said that, but I meant salute.
Okay.
I provide you with a formal statue. Oh, I know what I said. I mixed the two words together, gesture and salute. And it became that random word. It was not a statue. It was a statue or something like that. You met? The also agreed. You will have my cooperation as well. So long you listen to my suggestions whenever I open. So I will follow your advice if you are following my advice that I'm giving you to make to others.
No, she's only asking to listen to her suggestions.
Hey, listen! Hey, listen! I promise I will only find them in safe and timely manner. So don't, hey, listen. You can all communicate with me using the wind if need be. Hello, remind. And if from the group. There may be times when the American could come in help him for the journey ahead. I mean, in a sense, they are communicating with the wind. And I know as well.
Oh yeah.
I agree with your terms. They said to Kali. In fact, if any of you have important suggestions so far along the way, I will listen. I still know much about your capabilities. After all, as always possible, any of you might find something important that I missed. I want to be informed of details like that at any moment, but I see it important to do so. We are a team, after all. Leroy! I mean, this is what never happened in the D&D session.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Because there is at least one who goes the other way. It would be nice if we started acting like it too. Something said with a slightly disappointed look, and there I knew. There knew frown, but also noticing the acceptance and serving, as she admit. I admit, I might not have included you all as much as I should have, but working in teams is new for me, and there are reasons I have just shoes. While actually drawing a picture of a cabbage on the floor. Being put in the chair in charge of the room was much more responsibility than I was expecting either. If the success in you, I'm sure it's good results, but besides confidently. I've been a team player before in a professional sport, so being involved in the group, especially that is new. I mean, wasn't Halloween as well?
Well, yes,
Wasn't professionally, but he was in a professional sport.
he had a little bit of experience among the Wonderbolt cadets. He didn't make it past that point, though.
Yeah. Experience taught me that another skill each team needs to work on, but it is also important for each member of the team to be included and do something valuable for the team. Which is sport, you say? There is no S, so I mean, seriously. It's sport, if I may ask. What sport? Something else one. Have you ever played it or seen it? Even the only players I have the capability to play, and then it evolved into the ball, right? And they have that now we are including unicorns and Espony as well in the team.
I'm tempted to say no since it has very different rules, but I can't entirely dismiss that possibility.
That's why I said evolved.
It could, yeah, it could have, I guess. Yeah.
But then the very unusual exception is the fall as capability is concerned, but he still hasn't played it, and no means is still a thing in your time. So investing the time, save curious looking to therapy. This is also better for the future. I heard of it, but that's about it. I do admit. Same with me, the figure cross. Maybe we'll make our way, you can teach us some of the rules. I still worked with the team before, aside from us, as a middle report. In my case, it was the one the most good. I was the first unicorn to apply for the academy, for obvious reasons. But there were several problems during my attendance. So I had to eventually drop out. Use this group as serious expression. I wasn't any of you down though, I promise. I am also playing in a professional sport called chess.
Which one?
Chess.
Who are you referring to?
Halloween.
Okay. Strange you should say that. I don't believe it was ever mentioned before, but you're right. He can play chess, and it's primarily because of his father.
But I think it was in the flying unicorn.
Jeez, if you're right, even I don't recall it. But nevertheless, it's true. He can play chess, but not as well as his father.
But even if it wasn't mentioned, it would make sense.
I do think, though, the game's played somewhat differently in Equestria, where the king is probably actually a piece like Celestia. It's just called the princess.
Yeah.
But basically, the game probably functions the same thing.
They don't have kings and queens, they have Luna and Celestial.
Something like that, yeah.
Which one is the queen? Anyway, Sky Allison actually takes a moment to present 3 years old. Million and May I didn't even understand all that not long ago. The investigation is necessary to explain necessary spite of the tragedy we suffered on my first mission with this group. In accordance with that, Dr. took us to Bolivia initially, but the vacation got interrupted. Sorry, there is no apology and she suffered all from it. There is no idea of that when I first approached you all. And we can see that happening, right?
Probably, yeah. Pinky can be crazy genius sometimes.
Where was I?
Uh,
I didn't see this, right?
After the next paragraph, actually. You already finished the next one.
Okay.
You're sorry. You're in that paragraph there.
You can use the oath for any further apologies from them, and the Magi goes on to say, my point is, if climbing this mountain ends up particularly ideal, I say we relax and have as much fun as we can during our climb. I mean, the climbing is not gonna be that nice.
It usually is a challenge, but remember, at this environment, it will be unusually ideal. Most likely.
No, it's not gonna be fun.
Party much in Rotterdam.
Do you know the words?
Not quite, but it was something like that.
It was very similar.
Yeah, I know.
I said it's also important. For me, as a medical professional, to say otherwise, but our mental and emotional health is important too, to send therapy. I will probably be taking some pictures and her recording, and in person as well. Hello, he goes to show the nod. We'll be sure to give you plenty of time to absorb the ambient harmony feelings here in order to charge your rescue stuff too.
So, yeah. Based on that suggestion, they can accomplish several things at once. Climbing the mountain to get to the Ice Blue Lily while getting some good exercise and doing some relaxation and gathering up some harmonic energy in the red crystal and taking some videos and pictures. And. What does the small text say?
Who the heck called me so short? The short wizard, right?
Now there's a character who might wish on a Dragon Ball to grow a few inches or feet.
I mean, he did. Go. Not really a spoiler, but he did go a lot.
Oh yeah, eventually. That would be emotionally too, actually.
Yeah. Sure, we can do that. I agree. I should look at further of it. But I'm very to safe stopping point, and nothing else that is going on. We can give you the time you need to gather your energy. It's upon things plenty of base enemy. Whenever I save us to do so. I must get advantage iron during the time. So we will take some base in order to help you with that. There was no you here, but autocorrect in my mind, right? While you do that, let me give me time to write down some notes in my diary.
You know, Featherwind, magic aside, is probably the most feeble member of the party. However, he can lighten his body weight, which is not always ideal. If you're going to an environment that has intense chaotic winds, that could be a problem there. But otherwise, he can easily
That
lift himself when he's lifting the weight of a feather.
that can't be chaotic winds here in this place of relative harmony.
Yeah, that's true too.
Me too, but I've been doing it. If you take time, I can get a useful energy for the crystal, but I can also write code, and poems too. Code?
Prose is basically what you're reading right now. Just regular text.
Yeah, let me see, because I have never seen that one before. What's an outspoken language? Without mathematical structure. A short story. Sure, fine.
Is that Christmas music?
No, it's possibly. But it sounds like Christmas music in the beginning. Yeah, it's true when you feel 103 minutes. No PS for the win, hopefully. Sure. For the win sentiment, actually not. That's so it. But I guess we have a plan. Like I said, I can take a few more steps closer to the mountain. Everybody, prepare yourself. It's time we stop planning. It's time we venture on. Give the dagger again, and as she had. I mean, she can only give a dagger again. She can't give a feather again, or she can't give a stone again. Button up, my friends. And that's always fun of saying. I don't see.
Alright, so what you think?
So, wait. What is the plan? Are they flying or are they not flying?
Well, they're probably climbing the mountain. Maybe flying up some of it.
Yeah,
But
then at the end there was no actual plan of what they are planning. I guess we have a plan. Yeah, you have a plan, but what is it?
the plan is they're deciding to climb the mountain together and split instead of splitting the party.
Oh, so the plan is to stick with the plan.
Well, that, and they also have some ideas of what to do after they secure their objective. Like, it might be not merely enough to gather the ice blue lilies, but to scan the environment and the magic, and then try to plant it 2 centuries before Daring's time.
Yeah.
So they'll be even more available by the time she returns to her actual native time. In addition to that, she might gather the alliance with the Yaks, which possibly has already occurred, according to what Daring just realized. And now she's starting to fully realize why they looked up to her so much.
Yeah. So the plan is good. Don't spin the party.
Right.
It is still a nice, harmonious place. Nice. Oh no, there's danger of food, but we know it's gonna happen.
The only reason they considered splitting the party is maybe someone can go up there really quick, gather it, and just come back and they'll be done.
Yeah, but we
But
know that the winds are not leaving you. Mm.
that's what they learned during their conversation was Featherwind got some extra insight by communing with the elemental spirits like, oh, actually, not a good idea. If you try to fly up there, you're just going to be buffeted around with the
I'm
winds.
curious about one point. You said they said that finding the flower will take a week. Why?
Hmm.
Father has the wind. He knows the flowers are there. The wind can tell him where the flowers are. You don't need to search for it. You know where it is.
Yeah, it'll take about a week to get there, though. They know exactly where they're going, they just have to get there.
Oh, so that 20% is another week.
Yeah, that time is all about the climb.
How big is that mountain?
Very large.
I mean, people can climb the Mount Everest in a few days.
Wow, really? Alright. Um, anyway, well, these characters are not climbing up with that much professional equipment of modern times. Magic helps, though, to make up for that. I heard that the largest mountain in the solar system is actually on Mars, called Olympus. At least that we noticed so far.
Okay, I am wrong. Most expeditions take 6 to 9 weeks for
Okay.
Mount Everest. I was wrong. I think it's back. But they don't fly 80% up.
No, normally no. Yeah.
Yeah, and now
If you're flying up Everest, you might be just go all the way to the top. Probably by helicopter. There's not much of a airplane landing strip on the top of Everest.
I mean, usually the only helicopter going up is the medical team.
Yeah. Um. And I think it's typical that the helicopters like that don't even land. They just lower some kind of rope and
Yeah, because they
get
don't
people.
want to risk an avalanche.
Well, it's beyond that. A helicopter is going to need some flat space to land on. Otherwise, it's just going to tilt over and then tumble down the mountain.
Yeah? I mean,
In, ter- in terms of air vehicles, helicopters are among the best to land on narrow spots by going straight down instead of having to curve down into a landing spot. But there's still limits to what it can do and where it can land.
yeah, and it is more prone to accidents as well, sadly.
I think you're right, and I believe there is some that are a factor around the Everest mountains. There's just so much land to get in the way of the wind, so it brushes it upwards. I think in a tendency, I've seen some birds try to scale over the mountain simply by spreading their wings and catching the updraft.
Yeah, and they do. They have learned the way of the wind.
Huh? You're right.
With the difference of not actually moving the wind.
Right, but their instincts are guided by it.
Yeah, this chapter I am happy with. They all take time, they plan out what to do, and they actually made the right choice of sticking together. Because if you split the party, something bad happens all the time.
Daring's got professional training insofar as climbing, and she's going to spread that knowledge to the rest of her companions too.
Yeah?
So now she's starting to become a team player here, beginning to get a little bit used to this.
I mean, it is her first adventure as a team.
It's not her first, but it is the first for a long time.
Okay, it is her
And
first adventure as daring new as a team.
and team leader at that.
But wait, no, the first was Rainbow Dash. That already happened. So wait,
Yes.
when are we then? I'm even more confused now.
Probably somewhere in season 3. The Golden Oak Library is still there. The Crystal Empire's arrived. It sounds like sometime after Discord gets out of Stone Statue again and redeemed this time, but very close to that time period. This is after Daring's first meeting with Rainbow, but probably that's it. The second meeting has not occurred yet.
When was Rainbow Dash ending?
She didn't meet Daring Do in the first time she read the books. That occurred later. I can't exactly tell you though when that occurred exactly when they met Daring. Off the top of my head, it's among the early seasons, but not season 1.
It is
Might be
when they got the ring or not, right?
Yeah, when they met the author. I suspect that's within season 2 or 3.
And season 4.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's episode daring not.
Well, then we're past that point. This story is definitely established that has occurred to Daring by now.
Yeah. But we have a time machine, so we are before season 1 at the moment.
If that lands them in the middle of season 4, then they're still looking for the keys to open that crystal chest that the Tree of Harmony offered.
Yeah, because there is no castle. They would mention that when they were in Ponyville.
Yep, there is.
It is a daring connection to the whole area. But yeah, that is it for today. Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.
And see you in 4 days or today, depending on what we are talking about. Today we are continuing Heroes of Justice, and in 4 days we are doing this again.
Please offer the link on the chat too, to make sure I get the proper date.
I will do.
Thank you.
Bye bye!
Bye bye.